How much can you spend each month after you retire? When you're working, you know your income. While it can be difficult to make ends meet, you know how much you have to work with. The same's true if you retire with a traditional pension. You get a pension check and a Social Security check every month. Deduct enough to pay your taxes, and the rest is what you've got to spend or save. But what if you retire with savings, but no traditional pension? How much of your savings can you spend? You want to live as well as you can afford to, without running out of money if you live to be 90 or 100. In another video, I recommend that people protect against outliving their money by buying deferred income annuities. You can buy deferred income annuities before, when, or even after you retire. And the annuity will pay you a fixed income starting at some date in the future, such as when you turn 85, until you die. While you're waiting for the annuity to start paying, you're going to still need to live off your retirement savings at a rate that doesn't leave you broke. However, making your money last is a lot easier if you know how long it needs to last. But how much can you spend if you don't buy a deferred income annuity? For years, many financial planners recommend that retirees use a simple rule of thumb called the 4% rule to determine how much they could withdraw from their retirement account every year. The 4% rule works like this. Your first year in retirement, you can withdraw and spend 4% of your retirement savings. Each following year, you spend the same amount adjusted for inflation. This advice became popular in the 1990s when investment returns had been strong and the likelihood of someone who followed this rule dying broke appeared to be low. However, investment returns are down since then and people are living longer. And more importantly, the 4% rule does not adjust your spending as your wealth changes in good and bad markets. That just isn't a safe plan. I suggest that those who want to follow a simple, easily understood retirement income plan that has been shown to work quite well use the Rmd approach. Rmd stands for Required Minimum Distribution. This is the minimum amount that the IRS requires people to withdraw from their IRA and 401k accounts, usually starting in the calendar year that they turn 70 and a half. While the IRS does not require a minimum distribution from a Roth IRA, you can apply the spending rule to a Roth by calculating the Rmd on the Roth as if it were a regular IRA, and then spending that much from the Roth. Each year, you withdraw and spend the required minimum distribution from your retirement accounts after subtracting state and federal income taxes on those withdrawals. That's the entire rule. Each month, spend no more than 1/12 of your annual Rmd plus your Social Security benefits after subtracting the state and federal income taxes you'll owe. This is what you've got each month to pay rent, mortgage, utilities, food, insurance, including Medicare premium, and go to the movies. But this is also the money that you're going to need to cover unexpected expenses such as unanticipated out-of-pocket medical expenses, and to pay for travel or graduation presents for your grandkids. So for the Rmd spending rule to be sustainable, you're going to have to set aside money for emergencies. That means spending less than the entire Rmd plus Social Security in most months. Try to spend about 90% and save 10% for emergencies. And to keep the Rmd rule on track, always pay for the things you want in advance. If you plan to take a trip, first save the cost of the trip from your Rmd withdrawals and Social Security benefits, then travel. Don't spend your future income today, and don't go into credit card debt. How do you calculate your Rmd? Let's look at a simple example. Karen will celebrate her 76th birthday this year and had $250,000 in her 401k account last December 31st. How much is her Rmd for this year? There are lots of Rmd calculators online, as well as information available from the IRS. To figure out Karen's Rmd, let's use the Rmd calculator on the investor.gov website. Karen's 401k balance at the end of last year was $250,000, and she will be 76 at the end of this year. So her required minimum distribution this year is $11,364. That's 4.55% of her account balance. In addition to calculating the Rmd, the calculator reports a withdrawal factor, dividing your previous end-of-year account balance by your withdrawal factor equals your Rmd. In this case, $250,000 divided by Karen's withdrawal factor of 22 equals $11,364. Next year, Karen will be 77, and her withdrawal factor will be 21.2. Her Rmd will be 4.72% of her account balance, slightly higher than this year. But whether she can withdraw more or less money than she does this year also depends on how the mutual funds in her 401k perform this year. If you are married and your spouse is more than 10 years younger than you will need to use a different Rmd calculator than this one, and your Rmd will be lower. The advantages of the Rmd method over the 4% rule are that Rmd withdrawals adjust for your portfolio returns, and the Rmd method is based on life expectancies. However, a single life expectancy table is used for everyone with no adjustments for gender or health. So yes, it's possible to improve on this simple one-size-fits-all rule. But the new rule won't be as simple. And this one, it's pretty good. Investments can be volatile, and it's easier to get used to spending more money than less. So even if your portfolio goes up by more than 10%, don't increase your spending in any year by more than 10%.